a constant in and create a constant file, and we will put that string kind of constant into that file, okay, which is a string constants. Okay, so what we can do, we can create a class called application constants, suffix with constants, and we can put it into the util package because it is a utility kind of things. So that application constants.java, that's a single responsibility principle, because this file can have all the constant. Great, right? Okay, we have exception util, that's great. You can give your class name as a, because we have exception related code, we have, you can give the class name as a exception util or exception utility, and you can put it into the util package or utility package kind of things. Okay, whatever the task you, the key takeaway is from utility or util kind of things, whatever the responsibilities you have, whatever the you are dealing with, like you are dealing with email, create a email util.java, that's simple, or email utility.java. Okay, put all email related responsibility into that class. Okay, that's great, that's great. Yeah, we have service. Okay, the most important thing I want to elaborate here, your service class can have more number of methods because it is having a lots of kind of business logic you can write here. It's not coming into the single responsibility because your class can have more responsibility as well, but you have to keep less responsibilities. Okay, you can create like configuration service if you are having file related kind of things, file service, or rest related kind of things. You can create the rest service because it will be doing something with the rest to client kind of things, or rest call according to your requirement. Okay, put it into the service packet. Let's move ahead. Okay, we have a sender, message sender, that's great. If you want to send something into the Apache Kafka queue, then you can create a class called messagecenter.java and create a send method inside it, put it into the sender package. That's it, single responsibility principle. Okay, okay, another kind of thing here is that we have a pull request, or let's take another example like customer request data. Okay, customer request, or let's think about another way, like we have we are receiving some data from client. Okay, so it is an employee object kind of thing or customer object. Okay, then we can suffix it with the request data, like customer request kind of thing, customer data request or employee data request. Okay, so by looking into that class we can easily identify, okay, it is coming from the client. Okay, and we will put it into the request packet. What we can do to send the response to the client, we can suffix that particular class, like we have a customer, we can suffix it with like that customer data response or the employee data response. So by looking into that class we can easily identify, okay, it is a request class or it is a response class. Response class we'll put into the response package. Okay, so this is actually the kind of structure that we have to follow when we are so as a clean code perspective. Okay, by looking at that class name we can easily identify, oh, this is the responsibility of coming from the client. This object will come from the client, this object will go to the client. Okay, as a response. Let's move ahead. Okay, if you have couple of processing something, suffix it with the processor and put it into the processor package. That's great. Okay, if you have like XML parser kind of things, or we are parsing something, then create a file name like XML parser or Excel parser, put it into the parser package. That's great. Okay, we have talked about DTO kind of things. Okay, okay, you have something like file JSON file data loader. Whenever you application is started, suppose whenever your application will be start, you have to load that JSON data into your particular object, particular class object, static object. Okay, static kind of object you have to load into that particular object. So you can create a loader like JSON file data loader, and you can put it into the loader package. This is going to be a single responsibility also. Okay, separate package, separate class. That's great. Like file event loader kind of things, or JSON file event data, JSON file data loader kind of things. Okay, we have, suppose you have a file name and you have to validate that file name, okay, that it is going to be a correct file name or not. You can create a file name validator, and it will be have only validate method, that's it. And you have to put it into the validator package, single responsibility principle. Okay, yeah, we have also talked about the generator, like response generator and request ID generator, job ID generator. Put it into the generator package, that's great. It will have only one method called generate. Yeah, exception related things, put into the exception package, and suffixed with the exception, like, yeah, that's great. Whenever you have exception kind of things, like invalid file exception or user not found exception, put it into the exception package. Okay, I've talked about the enum as well, right? Yeah, controller, that's great. We have to create the class with the suffix with the controller, put it in the controller package. Yeah, in the Apache Kafka queue, that in other hand we have receiver also, which, or we can say that consumer also. So you can create like message receiver dot java, and you can put it into the receiver package or a consumer package. That's great, right? And inside that only one method will be had, receive or consume kind of things. That's great. We have configuration related things, all the configuration like security config or a swagger config, that class should be suffixed with the config or configuration. Put them into the config package. Okay, JSON loading config kind of things. Okay, we have to give the configuration name, class name with the config suffix or configuration suffix. Put it into the config package. Okay, and another kind of things we have, yeah, these are the things. I think I am done with all this whatever I have prepared for you guys. The last thing, let me just explain you about that. We have wrapper kind of things. Okay, let me explain you in the abstract way. Whenever you are receiving something another from another service, okay, and suppose you are calling from REST template, and you have to give the response class name, okay, to which class you want to map it. Okay, so suppose you are getting the list of kind of data, then like list of, for example, list of employee, then you don't have to collect it as a list, you have to collect it as a wrapper, as an object level. So you have to create one object, and inside that you have to create a variable of list of employee. Okay, and inside that it should become, so you have to give that as a response class, your class name, your wrapper class name, like you have to give the class name like employee wrapper, wrapper. Put it into wrapper package or adapter package, and inside that you have to create a list variable like list of employee, and employees is equal to new, yeah, add list, whatever you want to take, you have to just require, and give this employee wrapper as a response class into your REST template. Okay, so this is actually the wrapper kind of thing technique that we are using whenever we are getting something from another service or another REST API. Okay, yeah, these are the things that I want to guys just convey with you about the single responsibility principles, and how we need to think about whenever we are creating the classes and the package names. Okay, always follow these kind of things. Yeah, so yeah, that's it for today. Thank you so much.